like to talk to you about the Founding Fathers. Now, the Founding Fathers, they weren't the super geniuses that we were led to believe in our grade school class. I mean, winners get to write the history, as they say. Now, if you look at the Founding Fathers, I'm not saying they were dumb, they certainly weren't that, but I'm saying they weren't the super geniuses that they were passing themselves off to. They started a war when they were in a very bad position to start that war. And there are things they could have done differently that they didn't. And let me explain. Now, there was the French and Indian War before our American Revolution. And the French, and the British, they fought each other more times than any other two countries in the entire planet. And they just finished a war with each other, the French and Indian War. And the French, wanted to go at it again, and they were looking to start another war with the British. And what happened was, our best move, the Founding Fathers' best move, was to cut a deal with the French. Now, before we started the war, if we'd gone to the French and said, hey, look, we would like to start, we know you want to start a war with the British, we want to start a war with the two. If you just supply us with ammo and food and weapons and what we need to fight this war, we'll start trouble up in the colonies of the Americas, and you can hit them in the West Indies or wherever else you want, because they were fighting over the West Indies because a lot of money was being made there. So that was a huge blunder on their behalf. And it's interesting to me because if you look at the early stages of the American Revolution, they were doing pretty badly. They were getting beat very badly. I think it was General Cornwallis, British general, who said that about his opponents that he was beating, where they would march out in formation, even though they were outnumbered and not equipped, and just get hammered by the British forces, who were better equipped, better supplied, more numerous, and better disciplined and trained. Cornwallis said that fighting such an inept commander nearly takes the glory out of victory. Nearly. Yeah. That's a great quote from history, yeah. Somehow it doesn't quite take it out, but it almost does. But, so our tactics and doctrine was very bad at the beginning. When we started moving more to, we started learning and moving more to a guerrilla tactics, hit and run, that was working much better. The other thing is you look at the Battle of Trenton. Now, when George Washington counterattacked at Trenton, he was facing the Hessian forces all by themselves. And what happened was British had much larger forces available, but they sent in the Hessians to finish us off because they really didn't think they needed anything more than that. That was a grievous blunder on the British's part. We got lucky at Trenton. And if the British had brought up the main bulk of their forces to back up the Hessians, I believe George Washington would not have fought at Trenton, and at that point he would have just thrown in the towel, and the American Revolution would have been over at that point. So, when you are listening to history, when anyone's telling you something, take it with a certain grain of salt. Who are they? What's their agenda? What's their biases? And, you'll have a much better insight in how the world we live in